Always. Always gotta get gas. That's just my baby dog. That's just my baby dog. Welcome to 6 a.m. It's your boy Josh Irvin. It's been a minute. Just been busy. Did some recordings for Swerving with the Irvins. And just flat out been busy. Basketball season is jumping. So that takes a lot of my time. Amongst everything else. And just got a lot of new fresh ideas. But definitely wanted to hop back on the 6 a.m. You know, I had a friend text me and said, you know, how's everything? You know, your typical how's everything text. And I said a few things. You know, it's hard to kind of text everything, but I said a few things. You know, we're texting. And then he said, no. Like, how is everything? How is fatherhood? You know, he's like, I know the pressures of being a dad and so I want to know, how is everything? Hold on, let me make sure I don't hit anything. And, you know, I was kind of like, wow, like, you know, people don't really ask you that question a lot. I mean, they want to know how everything's going, how the baby's, but like, how are you doing with all of this? And it got me to thinking. Hold on, y'all know I gotta bust down Shipley's one time. Be right back. Alright, I have secured the Shipley's bag. Sace glaze. Two today, maybe 3. 2 tomorrow, maybe 3. Maybe I'll share one, maybe I won't. You know, if there's too many people around me, I can't share. If there's maybe one person, I might give them one. But anyway, like I said, so he asked me, he said, you know, how is fatherhood? How is it? How are you doing? And, you know, it just got me to thinking. You know, I've always been very competitive. Even within myself. You know, even from an early age, I wanted, you know, if I made an 80 on a math test, the next time I took a math test, I wanted to make 100. Or I wanted to make a 90. You know, if I went out and shot some hoops and I made, you know, 70 out of 100, then I wasn't going to leave the gym until I made 75 or 80. You know, so I've always had this competitive drive amongst myself. So, you know, I'm always trying to find something to compete with myself in, just to be a better person, you know. And marriage and having kids is another competitive, I don't want to say game, but I'm just going to use the word. It's another competitive game within myself. And the game is to be the best man, the best husband, and the best father. That's what drives me every day. Hold on, let me make some moves. make sure I'm stressed out. Alright, I think I'm on go mode. So anyway, that's what drives me. And it's, I think about the question, how is everything? And honestly, it's a grind. It's a every second, every minute, every hour, every day grind. Because you only want the best. You only want the best for your wife and for your kids. So the competition to do that within myself drives me. And mentally, that's all you think about. And so it's a positive grind. I was thinking, as a man, I always, just when I was single and didn't have kids, and I still had all of these aspirations to do. You know what I mean? Like, I had all these aspirations to be. But I probably could have lived a very simpler life, and been okay. But then when you find someone you love and you marry them, and that's your wife, now you have now you have to have the drive and competitive spirit within yourself to be a better husband. So now that's a little bit of added good pressure, but that's added pressure. And then after you're married, you have kids, and now that drive, that competition within yourself is to be a better father. And I always got to make sure it's not cops behind me. Well, I got this light on. Vroom vroom. So yeah, so it's a different. Now it's a whole different drive. It's a drive like you've never experienced in your life. It's a competition like you've never experienced in your life. And I love it. And it keeps me on my toes. It keeps me pushing. It keeps me thinking about ideas. It keeps me wanting to do all the things that I want to do. I forget what lady comedian it was, but she said, she was acting like she was talking to her friends on the phone. She was like, girl, let me tell you what his ass wanted to be today. He said he was about to study to go be an astronaut. And she said, I made my man his lunch. He walked out the door. I said, baby, go be an astronaut. That's honestly, that's pretty funny because, I got dreams and aspirations of being a lot. I do a lot. But I go back to saying that it drives me because now I'm not just trying to be a better man. I was always trying to be great. But then I got married, and all of a sudden you've got to be a better husband, and you've got someone on your side. So then you got to be great in that aspect, right? And then you have kids, and they're precious, and they don't know anything, and they love you for just who you are. But they don't know that you want to give them the world. So with that, your father gotta, your husband gotta, the man in you has to grind. And so, well, what does that grind look like? I mean, you think about the house you want, you think about the car you want, you're thinking about all the things that your baby's gonna need. You think about what you need to survive. You think about your wife need to survive. Then you want to have your leisure time, right? You want to take your trips, and you want to go to Disneyland, and that stuff never stops ringing in my mind. I think about it pretty much every second. I think every part of my life, whether I'm really thinking about my wife or kids at the time or not, is directed at them. And it's gonna happen. I don't have a choice. I don't have a choice. Something's gonna click within me. I've always been a hard worker. I got a long ways to go to be that worker that people just be like, boy, he works his tail off. I got a long ways to go before I'm that. But I'm working towards it because as a man, as a husband, and as a father, I got to. So I go back to my guy saying, how's everything? I know the pressures. You can't appreciate that question enough. You can't appreciate that question enough. What they say, check on your friends who are trying to be great husbands and fathers. Make sure they doing all right. It's the truth, man. It's the truth. But we gonna make it. We all gonna make it. Well, believe me when I tell you it, everything is all right. Like, we're moving in the right direction. It's just a thought. When you sit down and you really think about it, it's just, hey man, it puts it in some type of perspective for you. I wrote everything down on paper, all the, just how am I gonna get to the next level? When you see it all on paper, hopefully it gives you some type of direction and goals to meet. So, believe in me when I tell you everything's all right. We're smooth sailing over here. Babies are fine. I'm fine. My wife is fine. But we've got steps in our life that we're trying to take, and I'm gonna make sure that we get there. Cause as I forget her name, one of Court's favorite people to listen to on the social media. I forget her name. She's pretty funny. A New Jersey girl, a New Jersey Belle or something like that. She said, "It's my job. It's my job. It's my job." But anyway, pulling up to the school. Love you guys. Peace.